comedian David Boyle, and I'm quitting alcohol. So, perfect start to Monday today. Went to work an hour earlier than normal. Got to work, did some bullshit, then 11:30 got called off. High winds, dangerous. And it was pretty fucking dangerous. I was 11 meters up and the wind was howling. I still managed to flick through Twitter, but it was dangerous up there. So we came down, fucking happy days. That's a very tradey thing to say. Happy days. Happy days. Well, it was happy days momentarily. So left work, ate my lunch in the car, get ready to head home thinking, fuck, I'll get home like 12:30, something like that. I'll have a little steam. I'll have a little fucking chill out. I'll scroll Twitter from the safety of my couch. And I get fucking 5 minutes into the drive and it's just gridlock, standstill, traffic not moving anywhere. The worst I've ever seen it. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? 20 minutes passes, haven't moved a fucking inch. Thank God there was a big truck next to me blocking the sun. Otherwise it could have got fucking hairy. Anyway, an hour and 10 minutes just sitting there. No fucking, not a wheel turn. Absolutely fucking devastating stuff. My battery was starting to run low. My phone battery. I had turned the car off fucking early. I turned it off real early, like 10 minutes in. I'm like, this is different. I'm taking my shoes off. I'm turning the car off. Park and brake on. Feet on the dashboard. Kick back. But it started getting fucking really nervous when the battery on my phone started dying. I'm like, all right, what's happening? What's going on? Let's work this out. Let's work this out together. So I started messaging mates from work. I'm like, are you in the traffic? What the fuck's going on? What is going on? And one of the guys got back to me and said there's a fucking bushfire up ahead. I'm like, what the fuck? What the fuck is going on? So anyway, 2 hours just fucking sitting there, complete standstill. We finally get the go ahead, drive through, and you could see the fire on the side of the road. There was like fucking 50 cop cars blocking all the traffic off and 3 fire engines just fighting the fire. Well, it was out by the time I passed it, but Jesus Christ. What an absolute cunt of a day for a fucking bushy. So I got home fucking like, with not that much fucking difference. And I spent fucking 2 of it in the fucking car. Anyway, what can you fucking do? There's nothing quite like the feeling of getting called off work early when you thought you had a whole day. Plus it was an early one as well. Fucking there at 6 o'clock. Obviously I turned up late. I'm not turning up on time at 6 o'clock. I can't set my alarm for 4:45. There's just no fucking way. That's like it's a mental barrier. So I set it for 5:05, which gets me there late, and I still press snooze twice. So I wasn't exactly early, but I wasn't late because fucking the rest of the boys forgot it was even 6 o'clock. So I was one of the better ones. Anyway, I've had a little bit of a fucking chill out. It's been all right. On the whole, it's been a good Monday, all right? Can't complain. Happy days. You know, mate, it fucking is what it is. She'll be right. You're winning. All classic tradie terms. I tell you what was a classic on the worksite today. Any of the boys who had kids, because it was Father's Day yesterday, you asked them how their Father's Day was, and they all came back with like some response about banging their wife, getting a blowy or something. I'm like, how many kids do you have? They're like 4 kids. I'm like, yeah, sweet. Just absolutely nailing that wife of 15 years pussy. Happy Father's Day. Anyway, it's fucking Monday. You know what that means. It's Ask Boyle time. So if any of you have a question you would like answered by one of the greatest minds of the generation or any generation, then head to my website, boylecomedy.com. You'll see a section there for Ask Boyle. Put in a question if you feel. Ask me anything. It doesn't really matter. I can answer any question you have. So put in your details there. Ask a question. Right next to it, there's a section for Fucked Up Fridays. Send in a Fucked Up Friday. We need more stories, so just bang them in. Also, while you're there, it's the start of the month. How about you fucking buy Boyle a pint? Subscribe to the Patreon. I've got the rest of the day today because I'm doing the podcast early to get E-Rock's Degeni Diaries out. So that will be out tomorrow. If you want to listen to the Madman yourself, join the Patreon. There's also fucking Waterproofing 101 up there. And it's just fucking nice to buy me a pint, isn't it? So do that. That's all on boylecomedy.com. I'll see you over there. Anyway, let's get to this week's Ask Boyle. So this week's question is from Mike. That's it. Just Mike. Almost anonymous. Anyway, here it is. I have been feeling generally depressed about the future of the world. My Ask Boyle is, how can someone make an impact in this bullshit? How can I change the world for the better? Does anything matter? Well, Mikey Mike, you have come to the right place. Look, I was trying to explain this to someone over the weekend. They were trying to tell me that there's going to be some sort of like raise in consciousness of the whole human race. We're going to start vibrating at a different level. We're all going to be light beings, that sort of thing. I'm like, no, we can be that at any time we choose. It's in us all the time. It sounds like you're waiting for an external factor to do the work for you. The only change to be made is internal. Anything external is of no consequence. The battle is within. So to begin with, if you want to change anything out, you have to begin in. And that's where the hard work starts. Like, it's not easy. People can become pure light beings, vibrate at a different level of consciousness. Now, the Buddhists do it, saints, whatever. You can do it. It just takes a lot of hard work. That's why people don't even bother with it and they wait for something external to change things. It's not going to happen. Even if there is some event that triggers something, unless the bearings of your internal compass have readjusted or changed, you're not going to pick up on that frequency. You know what I mean? I've been thinking a lot lately how each individual creates their reality. So you really live your internal reality externally, but you think it's happening to you, but you're happening to it. These are big concepts here. So if you want to change something, you got to change yourself. You got to start small, at the smallest unit, which is you. So in that regard, the first place I would start is I would forgive yourself for anything that you're beating the fuck out of yourself about. If you don't even think you're beating yourself up about anything, I don't know what kind of fucking angelic creature you are, but most people have something that is dragging them down. So forgiving yourself and loving yourself, that's a good place to start, which is also hard. It's more of a process than it is a decision. You know what I mean? You don't just flick a switch. You start thinking about it and you're like, all right, that was bad. Why did I do this? Then you'll start blaming others and then you'll have to fucking work out how you were at fault. And then you have to accept that you did it, accept that you were at fault, and then you have to forgive yourself. And then once you start forgiving yourself on one thing, you can start letting yourself go on a few other things, and then you can start forgiving people outside. Then the thing that I have been thinking Well, since I started listening to Conceived in Liberty, the horror, the absolute horror of being a human, ever since it fucking started, there's no good guys if you go back far enough. Everyone has been a fucking bloodthirsty monster. There's no one good religion. There's no one good race. There's no one good ethnicity. It's all fucking bathed in blood. And the only way to move on and start again is just a big forgiveness of everyone for everything, which is easier said than done, but I see no other way around it. Unless we forgive each other and everyone for every horror ever committed against everyone and everything, then I don't know how you move forward. I suppose it's like the Jesus thing where he just forgave everyone's sins. He took them on himself and forgave his sins. I think that idea is right. I'm not too sure. I haven't thought about it long enough. Actually, I'm just thinking about it right now. I'm not sure if you need just one figure to absolve you of your sins. That doesn't really sound right. I think everyone has to do it individually. And we'll get there eventually. The good thing is there's many, 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 many thousands and millions of lives to live to learn all these lessons. So that's where I would start. Yes, it all matters, but you're here to learn. Start inner and then you'll see the outer slowly change. But it's all hard work. It's not like flick a switch. Nothing is flick a switch. It's hard work. So you do a little bit of hard work, you build a little bit of momentum, and then you use that momentum to do a little bit more. That's the only way to do things, is put in the fucking effort and hard work, and then things will change. Like, I know it's airy-fairy shit, but if everyone forgave each other and loved each other, there's no murder, there's no hate, there's only love in the world. Eventually it gets to that over eons and eons and eons, incalculable time. So we all eventually get there, but, you got to start at some point. Anyway, I hope that helped. Or you can just wait for Jesus to come back and the frequency to get turned up, and then you'll just vibrate at a higher consciousness. I used to believe that too, so I'm not even laughing at it. I still kind of believe it, but I know if you don't change your own dial, it's not going to you're not going to pick up the frequency. Anyway, that'll fucking do it for today, and I'll see you the fuck later.